This is Chiapas Mission Trip Orientation, segment number 5, talking about a typical day. Upon arrival in Mexico, we'll provide you with a loose agenda to give you an idea of basically what to expect while you're here. Remember before when I talked about patience and flexibility? Well, you want to keep that in mind with regard to the schedule as well. But in general, there are a few things that you can count on. Breakfast on work days will be at 6:30. Yes, 6:30 in the morning, bright and early. Your group may even decide that you want your morning devotional time to come before breakfast, so it could be that you'll even need to arrive at the breakfast table a little earlier, depending on the preferences of your group leader. Either way, breakfast will begin at 6:30, and as soon as you finish breakfast, you'll proceed on to the work site for your activities on the work site that day. Generally speaking, the first day on the work site will be a little bit more chaotic as everybody's sort of getting a feel for the project and trying to get an understanding of how they can be a part and contribute. But by the second day, things are clicking along pretty well. About 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, there'll be a structured break where we'll have a large supply of cookies and refreshments on hand for everybody. And then about 1 o'clock, plus or minus a little, we'll break for lunch and the end of our work day. The paid work crew and some of the Mexican volunteers may go back to work on the work site after lunch, but the mission group from the United States will not. We will come onto the table for lunch. Don't worry about being grungy from the work site. Just wash the gunk off your hands. Again, use some antibacterial gel and come onto the table. After lunch, there'll be time for showers, rest, relaxation, reading, that kind of thing. There will be some activities that are leisure in the afternoons. There will also be a possibility of a vacation Bible school in the afternoon. If your group plans to do a vacation Bible school, you will want to identify at least one person on your team to sort of be the co-leader for that operation, who will partner with a member of our team here in Mexico. Together they will work to put together a plan for the activities for Vacation Bible School, to have an idea about how many kids to expect and what kind of materials you want to bring. Generally speaking, we would encourage every member of your group to participate in Vacation Bible School if that's going to be a part of your work week. After Vacation Bible School or recreational activities for the afternoon, there will be some time that may vary from day to day. There may be a worship service in the community where we will go and be a part of that worship service with that church, and that usually includes an evening meal. If we go to worship, it will be important to follow the cultural traditions of that worshiping community, which may mean men sitting on one side of the congregation and women sitting on the other. May also include participating in the worship service by making introductions by each individual group member and contributing some music to the worship service, as well as contributing a sermon to the worship service. Okay, so let's go back. Let me explain. It's a normal part of a Mexican worship service for there to be a time of participation. It's an unstructured time where individual members of the congregation may sing a song, play a musical instrument, read some scripture, or otherwise participate in the worship service. When American mission teams come as a part of a worship service here in Mexico, it's generally expected that they will participate as well. What that means is there will come a time in the worship service when Pablo will introduce your group and ask you to come forth and stand in front of the church. At that time, it would be a good opportunity to have a very, very brief introduction of yourself in Spanish. That simply means what your name is, where you're from, if you're a teenager, how old you are, if you're an adult, what you do for a living. If you want to tell a little bit about your life, that's good. If you are a pastor, an elder, or a deacon, you want to tell that as well. You want to let the church members know that you're a leader in your church and that you are a part of this worship team and mission team that comes to participate in missions here in Mexico. That introduction need not be super stressful for you, but we also want you to try really hard to do that introduction in Spanish. Even if they don't understand a word you say, they will feel really touched and honored by the fact that you tried. We have some Spanish pronunciation guides on our Mills Family Mission website. We also recommend that you have somebody that actually speaks Spanish, like a Spanish teacher or a native speaker, look through your introduction and help you be sure that you have a correct translation. Practice that, rehearse that, be able to say it to the best of your ability without looking at your little piece of paper, but know that that's a real way for you to contribute to the worship service. You also would be well suited as a group to sing a song or two. If you can sing at least one of those songs in Spanish, that's great. At least try to sing one song, and if you're going to sing more than one song, try to be sure that at least one of them is in Spanish. You also want to have members of your group who are prepared to preach a sermon. Now, this does not need to be in Spanish. This can be spoken in English and then translated by a member of our team, Pablo, or one of our daughters, or one of our other volunteers will translate the service into Spanish for a Spanish-speaking congregation or into Saltal for a Saltal-speaking congregation. We'll talk a little bit more about the Saltal culture a little bit later. But for now, just know that the worship service is likely to be a part of your experience while you're here, and you want to be prepared for that. After worship or after the evening meal activities, you will have some leisure time during which we really strongly recommend that your group have a wrap-up or an evening processing discussion where you take some time hearing from each other about the experiences of the day. How did you see God move in the lives of your group members? How did you see God's creation in a new way here in Mexico? How were you touched by a relationship that you are beginning to develop with a brother or sister in Christ here in Mexico? What about this place makes you crazy? What about the work site confuses you or hurts your feelings? All of those things are a part of the experience, and we would encourage your group to get together on a nightly basis and talk about those things and have some processing time and some prayer time and some time to share. As the night wears on, you'll want to go on back to your rooms and settle in for the night. As a rule, it will be important throughout your experience here in Mexico to remember that you're traveling as a part of a group. And that means being respectful of the needs of other members of your group in your rising and your waking and in your going to sleep. There are early birds and night owls. I'm a night owl, but I know some early birds, particularly who come on the medical trip, who are up bright and early at 4:30 or 4 to 5 in the morning. And those of us who would comfortably stay up till 12 or 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. It's important that as a member of the group that you take seriously the needs to be respectful of other people. That means if you get up early in the morning, try not to turn the light on in your room and disturb those who may wait until the very last minute before crawling out of their bed or their hammock to come to the breakfast table. It also means that if members of your group have gone to bed at night and you're still up moving around, that you want to not turn on the light in your room, to not make a lot of noise as you're coming to bed so that you don't disturb those who've already turned in for the night. In general, your work week will be from Monday to Thursday or Friday. It all depends on what day you travel. At the end of your work week, you'll also have some time to be a little bit of a tourist, and you'll travel for a free day where you'll get a chance to see some of Mexico's tourist attractions, spend some time in a different city, eat in a restaurant, and explore another part of Mexico. And then, of course, we'll have you back to the airport bright and early on Saturday or Sunday morning for your flight back to